All right, hey, thanks for having us here today. I'm going to basically give you two examples from my personal experience, two products, two companies that we founded in the sports world that are how we use data, we use data and we do something to it, whether it's math, stats, physics. We analyze it and we turn it into information. So the main idea here is you've got some type of data set. Okay, you got data. I mean, we've seen examples. You guys all know examples of data, but a decision maker, whether it's a coach or a GM, they want to turn that into information. They don't want the data, they want the information. So us as an analyst or a statistician or a mathematician or data scientist, we have to do something to the data to make it valuable to the decision maker. So the main idea here is data, do something to it, turn it into information. So this started 5 years ago. I was a college baseball coach up at Manchester University in Northern Indiana, and we were tasked with scouting our upcoming opponents. So one of our tasks every week, we'd go through the play-by-plays of our upcoming opponents, and I'll show the example here. But let's say for a second we wanted to scout Kris Bryant. Now, I know he's a player for the Cubs now, awesome third baseman for the Cubs. But at the time he was playing at the University of San Diego, and you want to say, us as coaches, we want to say, what is he most likely to do when he comes up to bat? So we'd go to the play-by-play. This is a website on San Diego University of San Diego's baseball website, and we'd look for Kris Bryant. There he is. I've got him highlighted there in green. On the right there, I'm showing a single 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with the left field line and the right field line drawn on it. And so we'd go through these play-by-plays manually, and we'd see Bryant fly it out to center field. And so we'd literally just draw with a pen a line to center field. Next one we see at the bottom here, we see third inning, he grounded out to third base. What would we do? Okay, we draw a little line to third base. We do that for multiple games, so here we're just showing 4 games. Here you might be able to see a little bit of a tendency, him pulling the ball and has some power to the outfield. We do that for 9 games. So every week we would do this and this is just one player, right? So here we've gone through 9 games, and this would take us, 8 to 10 hours for the entire team. Well, when you're basing a decision off of any type of data or information, this is on the left is the data, on the right is the information. You want as much data as possible, right? You get more confidence in your information. You get better predictions and so forth. So what would you do if you had to? Would you go through that manually and do that for an entire season of 60 plus games? So what we did, we automated this. So instead of manually going through, we would do something called scraping. We would basically fire up a computer and it would go through it and automatically scrape all that data. We would transcribe it, turn it into, do some more analysis on it, do some statistics on it, and then we would turn it into, more higher fidelity information. So we have more data that we can turn into information. We get more information out of it. So if you're looking at Kris Bryant's chart here from 2013, you see, let's just kind of break this down real quick. The green dots, think grass, balls on the ground. Blue, sky, balls in the air. Red are hard hits. O's are outs. And anything else is a hit. So you can see he's got a lot of power to the outfield. He sprays the ball all over the field, but you see in those left and right sprays down at the bottom, you see the darker colors in the outfield, so you know that this is a powerful hitter. Some other things we can do, if you look up there in the top right, there's a one called, right next to stolen bases, is called pitches per plate appearance, P/PA. So what is that, 3.88? So he's a very patient hitter. So how would we use this as coaches? We would say, okay, he's a 3.9 guy at pitches per plate appearance. We're going to throw fastballs early. We're going to try and get ahead early on this hitter. We have other stats here in the bottom left, versus lefties versus righties. So going back to the data, because we automated this. We can now derive these stats that we just couldn't do by hand or wouldn't be actionable based off of a limited input data set of, say, 9 games, right? So we've got 64 games, now it's automated, and now as coaches, we could go through here and say, we had a better idea for the player. Let's just go. You guys may have heard this guy, Kyle Schwarber. He played for IU. I think he graduated in 15. He's now an outfielder for the Cubs as well. You see, different tendencies. So if we look back at Kris Bryant, he's more sprayed around the field. Maybe a pull on the inside, on the left side of the infield. If you look at that right spray over there. If we look at Schwarber, everything is pulled to the right side. You can see it in the main spray with all the dots. You can see it on the left and right sprays with the colors there. So other things here we can look at his splits versus lefties and versus righties. So here he's got his OPS. So slugging plus on base is roughly 1250 compared to his versus lefty is, what does that look like? About 1100. And so if you look at those numbers, you can, if you're, another way to use this data, use this information, if I'm a coach, versus, and Schwarber's coming up and I've got a lefty in the bullpen, I may make a substitution and bring the lefty in to throw against Schwarber, whereas maybe that wasn't as valuable against Kris Bryant. So this is our diamond chart story. If we move, so the idea here is we have data on the left, we do something to it, and you have the output is information for the decision maker, whether it's a coach. And so that was diamond charts. Telemetry is focused on football and the NFL, so the idea is the same thing here. So we've got data coming in, and we want information for the decision maker, for the coach, the head coach, going out. So here's the question. Anytime you're trying to do something entrepreneurial, you should try and fill a need. So the question here is how does Demaryius Thomas run his slant routes from the left side of the formation? And so the old way of doing this was what's called a QC coach, a quality control coach, a football coach within the organization would go through all the video and he would break down the film and just find the plays that Demaryius Thomas lined up on the left side of the formation. He would do that not for one play, and then let's say he found that play. He would do it for multiple plays. So here he's found 3 plays out of about 40 videos he's watched. Well, let's keep going. Now he's looking because he wants more than 4 plays to break down. He wants 6. So now he'd spent 6 to 8 hours just breaking down all this film just to find 6 plays that he can go then take to his defensive coordinator or DB's coach. So what we do at telemetry here is we take data, and in this case it's called geospatial data. So it's every player has on the field has what's called RFID trackers, radio frequency identification trackers. So you think of them as GPS monitors in their shoulder pads, and you have all these. You have these time stamped they're 10 hertz. So you have 10 data points per second. Well, that's not valuable to a coach. A coach isn't going to go through there and say, okay, now I know all the plays that Demaryius Thomas lined up on the left side of the field. So here we're just showing. So you've got a huddle break. This is an offense heading to the left. So you've got 2 wide right now. You've got a guy coming out in motion on the left side. So now you're 2-by-1 set. You got a quarterback and 2 running backs in the backfield. Here he's going in motion. Here he's coming back in motion. So the snap hasn't happened yet. Now the snap happens. And you see 4 receivers go out for the pass with the running backs, with the offensive line blocking for the quarterback. So this is the data that we're taking in. So this was just one play, and we have data on this for every play that's happened in the NFL over the last 2 years. So now we can do, similar to diamond charts, we can do something to the data. We can analyze it. We can do math. We can do stats, geometry. Whatever we're doing to the data, we can have we have information coming out of it. So here we're just showing a common football language is when you count what are called the skill receivers or the receivers and the running backs. You go outside in on the numbers, and so you go L1, L2 on the left side of the formation. At the top, you've got the R1 receiver, and in the backfield, you've got a fullback and a halfback. So now we can, using these different models, we can tag or classify things that are happening on the play. Here we're showing, the fullback ran a wheel route, the R1 receiver ran a slant, the L1 ran a hitch, and the L2 ran a flat route. So now we're not doing this manually. We do this with custom software that we've developed. And so now we can put this, we can do this across all the plays that happen in a game in a season. For example, Demaryius Thomas. And here then we can display it. One thing that's really important when you go to try and communicate information is how you visualize the data. So here we've got Demaryius Thomas, 2016. These are all the routes that he ran, 2016 in the middle. I'm just going to show a quick video grab here. Just focus in this top left quadrant here. I'm just going to click the wide and slot position. So I want to find every play that he lines up to the left side of the formation, and then on the route tree we're going to click on the slant, which is you basically run up north. You run north about 3 yards, and then you cut at about a 40-degree angle northeast. So here, let's just play this, and you'll see how quickly we can get to that information. The information here that the coach wants to see is the video of those 6 plays that we're searching for. So we'll go ahead and run it. There we're clicking wide and slot. The data is now cut, and then we can cut it one more time and look at just the slant routes. There it goes. And now there's 6 plays. So the 6 plays that we found earlier, the coach spent 8 hours doing. We just did it in about three clicks of the mouse. We click one more button, and there's the 6 plays, and taking the coach to video. So here's Demaryius Thomas on the left as the L1 receiver, and here you see he's running the slant route. And so when I talk about those tags, when we go back here, we're not just tagging initial formation or routes or we're trying to tag or classify everything on the field that goes on. And just to do those tags, we have to use there's many different things we can use. But one thing that we use is something called statistical learning or machine learning. If you guys are serious about stats, and maybe you'll take a class and you'll learn about that. It's pretty powerful to help you turn data into information. So here's just one more example. We're tagging everything on the field. Famous coach, his favorite play is a spider 2 wide banana. So he's talked about this play for years. His name's John Gruden. If you guys are familiar, he's now a coach of the Raiders. So again, we're tagging everything in the field. If a coach said to you, hey, go find me every play where they ran spider 2 wide banana, what would you do? Before, you would have to go through all those plays again, and you'd have to find all these different route concepts. Basically, the key here is the fullback runs to the flat or to the right, and the Y is also known as the tight end, runs a banana route, which is kind of like a corner route, so he runs up and to the right. So if we have an interface here that we can actually draw the routes on the field or on this iPad. We can draw these routes. So here we're putting the players down. There's the fullback to the flat. There's the tight end at the corner. He's R1 and R2. R1 and L1 are on running shallow crosses. We click run, and now it's searching the database using all that data, and it's returning now information. So now we've got 9 plays where spider 2 wide banana was run. And again, this was just, this took us, what was that, maybe 20 seconds, whereas a coach would have taken, 8 to 10 hours just to find those 9 plays. So here's another example. So you'll see this, there's a motion man here, I believe. So he's going to run to the right, shallow, and he's going to be targeted on the pass. So these are examples of how we turn data into information. To me, that's the big key is to make data valuable. You have to do something to the data and present it to the decision maker. So, again, thanks for having us here today, guys.